So how big a threat is North Korea? Well, Gary Lefort, an international business professor at American International College, joins us now to talk more about that. I guess the first question would be, why would the Kim Jong-un's regime want to even launch a nuclear attack when it fully knows what the response would be?
Well, you know, part of it certainly, you can say, is rhetoric where they're trying to rattle the saber. But at the same time, you got to remember you have a very young president, a leader of the country, who's trying to create his credibility with the country, with the military infrastructure. At the same time, he has difficult economic situation. What's a better way to have the country rally around you than to have, you know, a military exchange with the most powerful military country in the world, the United States.
So maybe a lot of saber rattling, but the U.S. isn't taking these threats lightly, is they?
And no, and rightfully so, because in the past it just was, you know, a lot of talk. At the last minute, the North Koreans would back away. In this case, that's not the case. There's still that same rhetoric, but at the same time, they're matching it with military actions, like calling a state of war, saying they're not going to abide by the Armistice Treaty anymore. Moving around the missiles would be another example. The closing of the borders to South Korean workers going into the Kaesong factory. Yeah, so you have to take it more serious.
In many ways, you're saying, well, I may be 30 years old, but I'm not my father either. I want to show you what I'm willing to do.
Oh, sure. I mean, he's a very, very young leader. You know, and there's a lot of people who would say, well, he's just too young to lead, so he's got to establish his leadership, his credibility. Now, this is a great way of doing it.
It is, yeah. We look at the North Korean missiles. I mean, do they really have the capacity to attack the United States with nuclear weapons mounted on missiles right now?
Well, you got to make a clear distinction of what you mean by the United States. If you're talking about continental United States like the West Coast or even Hawaii, then they certainly don't have that long-range capability. They have the missile warhead capability. The question is, have they been able to retrofit it to missiles? But they do, with their medium-range missiles, have the capability of hitting Japan, where we have U.S. troops, also South Korea, where we have a sizable military contingency, as well as Guam as well. So, yes, in a sense, they do have that capability of hitting at least U.S. military assets.
And knowing that we'd get involved in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, most certainly. I mean, an attack on any of these territories would require the United States to respond in kind. And that's where the problem is. If we respond in kind and the North Koreans feel that they have their back against the wall, would they hesitate to use nuclear weapons? Maybe not. It seems to be the case that they would not, because Kim Jong-un has authorized the military to use light tactical weapons against an aggressor force, which really right now is the United States.
And the United Nations has been very quiet in all of this so far. Do you expect them to take any action at any time soon?
Well, you certainly hope so. I mean, they've been vocal in the past by passing, you know, resolutions, but they've never been as forceful as they could be, because they never had the support of both China and Russia. In the February bomb testing that North Korea had, it's the first time that not only Russia but China has come online and says that we are really concerned in the direction that North Korea is going. So it'll be interesting to see, to try to avert some type of a military confrontation with North Korea. Will the United States be willing to bring it to the United Nations and ask for not only economic sanctions, but some type of military oversight?
All right, Gary Lefort, we appreciate your expertise and for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll just have to wait and see.
That's right.